welcome in. Baseball After Dark, we're back. I see some talking in the chat here about last night's stream. That was for the longest one of the entire time we've been doing this so far. Right away, I got a joke from this morning. Adam, you look clean tonight. Thank you. I am clean. I showered and all of that. So thank you for that, Brendan. I appreciate the humor, of course. Oh, Jared, I clicked on your highlight here. Okay, we'll see what you come up with, big guy. You know, it's actually funny because originally I was trying to get Miles Davis music, and I was willing to pay for it, lots of things, and eventually I got ghosted over there. So that's unfortunate, but I think that would have been pretty dope. All right, where are we right now in this Yankees Blue Jays game? Blue Jays leading 2-1, bottom six, 2 outs. Stanton versus Rodriguez at the moment is kind of where we're at. As we welcome everybody here to Baseball and Coffee. I mean, actually, this is Baseball After Dark. Excuse me, Baseball After Dark. It's another simulcast on MLB today. We got huge viewership yesterday, which was really cool. I checked on it a couple hours ago. It was like 86,000 views. I was like, damn, that's kind of wild. Maybe we can convince some of those people to come join our community full-time over on my page, but we'll see. Schlittler, dealing. He's done a good job today. 2 strikeouts only, but pitched really well. Stayed composed really, really well. On the Blue Jays side, they've mixed it up. It went Varland, as we knew, then Fluharty, Dominguez, Lauer, Rodriguez. You read that Savage is actually available tonight, so they're going a little bit of a different direction than what we anticipated. I thought they might go Varland, Lauer, and then if they were still tight, I thought they might have potentially went Gausman on 3 days rest, but that doesn't seem to be in the cards. So again, like there's more real variables that we don't know about how players are feeling, different things like that. Yeah, 86,000 views, 86K on the MLB side. If you go look at the live stream numbers over there. So that's pretty cool. Big shout out to MLB and everybody that's watching on their page, contributing to this awesome situation. So now it's 2 on and 2 outs as Big G, Giancarlo just drew a walk. So Jazz is now up. Career versus Yariel Rodriguez, 0 for 7, 3 Ks. That's where we're headed right now. Dodgers Phillies starting up as well. Still listed as a warm-up here, but that should be coming any minute. We had 2 games. Both were won by the team that was facing elimination this morning. Detroit, very unexpectedly, completely made me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. The offense comes alive, carries the Tigers to victory over the Mariners today, setting up a Game 5 in Seattle in a couple days with Skubal on the mound. So now Detroit all of a sudden has tilted this whole series sort of into the way that they needed it to have a shot to get to the ALCS. And they were 1 win away. And that's going to be a really good Game 5. And on the other side, the Cubs rode a pretty hectic first inning all the way to victory, 4-3. They hang on. Bullpen comes through. They do a good job. Yariel just got Jazz to ground out. So 9 outs to work with for the Yankee offense and 9 outs to get for the Blue Jays to get themselves their ticket punch to the ALCS. They could be the first team to clinch tonight if they can, get 9 more outs before the Yankees score. And on the Yankees side, Schiller's pitched this whole way so far. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. 77 pitches. So is he going to keep going? Probably, huh? Only 77 pitches. They'll probably keep riding him. Or when do you turn to the bullpen and who do you turn to? This is interesting to see how this will be managed. Each of these decisions is critical. This is a tight game. Very tight at the moment. So yeah, so the stream got the ads or whatever, the roll ads. I don't know how often that's happening. Somebody has to let me know if it's OD or what. I can adjust those settings, but I'm trying to figure this out as I go as well. Jaden was trying to call for the Jazz homer here. It's going to be 1 for 8 with 3 Ks and a homer. That did not work out. He grounded out. Yari Rodriguez now pitching a back-to-back. So that's kind of where we're at right now. How should we get this started? Do we just want to stay glued in on this game in the meantime, or should we quickly look at a little bit of what happened in some of the earlier games? Certainly in Detroit. Detroit kind of woke it up today and had a big time performance offensively. Home runs from Glaber, Riley Green, McKinstry, Dingler, and Jahmai Jones off the bench. Just a massive attack today offensively. 13 hits, all warranted with a 337 expected batting average. Bryce Miller on the Mariners side goes 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. 55 pitches, but they pull them. And then these two relievers right here who have pitched in virtually every game, if not the entire thing. Gabe Spire and Edward Bizardo got touched up a little bit for 5 runs, and that's when the game kind of got away from them. On the other side, Mize was only trusted for 3 innings. We were wondering. Thought he looked pretty good in this game when I was watching. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Holton again pitched. He did not look good. Finnegan, 2 more innings. So Detroit continues to do this. This is kind of what they have to do. Vest appeared in this game again. Melton with another 3 innings. But that's kind of the way it is. That's the way Detroit's going to have to do it. I don't think it's very sustainable in the longer series. So if Detroit's lucky enough to survive this one, I think that's kind of a layup for whoever wins this series between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. That's my current opinion on their pitching strategy. Yeah, Schoolball's going to have to carry them big time, but that's just sort of my opinion. So here it is. Schlittler is back out there for the top of the 7th. He's doing everything he can. He's pitched pretty well. He's not getting a lot of strikeouts, so big credit to the Blue Jays. And I didn't see the first inning very well. I should probably go look at that now, because I'm curious how the rally was early on in this Wago. And I did feel like this was going to be a big factor. What happened right off the rip in this game? Schlittler throws a lot of strikes. He establishes the fastball early. I thought the Blue Jay hitters would be aggressive. And from what I'm seeing right now on the side here, 2 pitches, 1 pitch, 3 pitches, 2 pitches, 2 pitches, 1 pitch were the first few batters. Looks like I'm dead on. Let's see if they were hunting fastballs. Started Springer with a fastball away. Fastball coming in, and he's all over it. So yeah, I mean, I figured you're facing Cam. You watch how he pitched the other day. He established the heater, and he kind of overwhelmed the Red Sox. The Red Sox had to raise their level to get to where he was with the fastball. And then from there, he was able to mix in the other pitches. In this game, I knew Toronto has a very high contact rate for a team, and they like fastballs. I felt like they were going to come out swinging, and that's definitely what it's looking like here. Here's a first pitch swing here, also on a fastball. So 3 pitches combined to the first 2 batters. And then Vlad. And, you know, this guy, they just can't seem to get him out. He actually takes all the way on the first pitch. He's probably the one guy that can expect to be pitched a little more carefully. Actually gets behind 0-2 right here. Let's look at this cutter from Cam. Man, it's 93-2, and this is the difference, you know, just the extra velocity on the cutter makes it pretty special. All right, so 0-2, they're going to double up. And this is what Vlad has in his game that a lot of people don't have. A lot of great power hitters don't have. Just slashes it the other way. 102-4 at 6. He's got multiple swings. You know, you see the swing where he pulls the changeup to left center, and he looks like this big uppercut, Steve Balboni, you know, I swing out of my shoes and I try to hit a pull side home run every time type of hitter. But the reality is Vlad does a little bit more than that. Man, Ryan McMahon just ate shit. He caught it, but holy cow, that he slammed hard. Seems all right. So in the last week, he's flipped over a dugout, and now he like face plants in the ground like Travis Pastrana or something. He does catch it though. Anyway, fear leads to anger. Yeah, so that swing right there, that slash swing, and honestly, I faced Vladdy a lot when he first came up to the big leagues, and the thing that most impressed me about him is he has a real 2-strike approach. He likes to go the other way, and he adjusts to you. Like, if you embarrass him one time, he's not coming back the same way. He's going to come back and make a nice adjustment. With me, he did a great job sitting on my sweeper and then still defending the sinker and slashing everything to right. He totally gave up on the idea of trying to hit a home run off me unless he had count leverage, which I think was a good idea. I think too many people, they just keep saying, no, the mistake's coming. I'm gonna do the damage. But Vlad didn't wait around for that. Ooh, Clement to right. So there's a base hit there. 1 on, 1 out in that game right now. And then Barger got a hit, also being aggressive. Yeah, swinging at everything. I mean, that pitch is... Look where this pitch is, and he gets a swing. It's never a strike at any moment. So, I called that they would be aggressive, and it definitely seems that way. Man, gets jammed, but gets it into play. That's one of those, I'm just a strong guy, so even when I hit it off the label, I can flip it out to the outfield. But this is extremely clutch, because he only gives up 1 run in this inning. So, again, it happens really fast, but he just stays committed to throwing strikes, believes in his stuff. I mean, that's a perfect backdoor 99-mile-an-hour sinker. Holy cow. I mean, it's like he gets better every time we watch him pitch. This pitch has got a ton of runs. 16.6 on it. It's basically 99. This pitch starts off the corner. It comes back to the corner. Look at this absolute dot right here. He wasn't doing this 3 starts ago. Now he is. Now he's going to double up, looking for the double play ball. But he ends up jamming him really nice. So it has a good effect because he gets the catcher pop out. Those are as good as strikeouts. Really nice play by Wells here. This was tricky. You got the on-deck circle over there. There could be some objects on there. I can't tell. You got the wall coming. The ball's spinning kind of weird. Yeah, he might have went eyes closed catch there, but he had a good sense of where he was. Good court awareness, if you will. And he makes a pretty clutch catch there. That was big. And that is proven to be big because that gave him a chance to get out of the inning with only 1 run. And again, it's a first pitch, so that's why the pitch count's so low. Toronto saw the strike-throwing ability of Schlittler, and they said, we have to swing our way into beating this guy. Oh, Jazz just made a crucial error. Would have been a double play. But instead, it's first and third, 1 out. Jimenez hit it right to Jazz. He got kind of handcuffed. So I'll show that in a minute. But, you know, the aggression, it's always a gambit as an offense. You can be aggressive, you can do damage, but sometimes you can also be a little over-aggressive and just get easy outs for the pitcher all day. So it's a fine line, but in this game, good job to minimize the damage in the first inning. That is what is keeping the Yankees in this game, although it could be slipping away a little bit here if he doesn't do some more clutch pitching. He's in the same situation now, first and third, 1 out. Actually, Booney just went and got him. Man, he should have went through 7 there. That was a bad play. That ball really handcuffed Jazz. Let's just fast forward to that now. All right, so first of all, let's just see how hard it's hit. 88. Can't see anything from that angle. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. I mean, let's see the hops. It's a 1 or 2 hopper. It's kind of tailor-made. He didn't even hit it that hard. I guess he gets screened by the ump a little bit. I can see that. I can see that argument here. You know, got the umpire right here. Hold on. Where's my pen here? The umpire right here. So, I mean, a little bit. It goes right at the umpire. Kind of gets in his way a touch. But that is pretty tailor-made. I don't know. That's disappointing because that would have got them through 7. And now they're going to need some big-time pitching. I wonder who's coming in. Is Devin Williams coming in? Who's coming in for the Yankees right now? Yeah, Williams. We have him lit up here on the iPad, so it must be Williams. Anyway, that's intriguing. Here's how the Blue Jays got their other run. What inning was that in? Yeah, here it was. 5th inning. Ernie Clement, another very aggressive set of circumstances here. Putting the ball in play right away on the 0-1 cutter here. And Ernie Clement's had an unbelievable series. He just hitting low line drives, getting hits. And then Andres Jimenez with a 5-pitch at bat. So let's see what happens here. There's a missed bunt. Okay.
Squares, pulls it back, swings away and fouls it off.
Curveball. What's up, Mike? Appreciate you coming over, hanging out. You're streaming preseason games, or did the NBA season start? Do I not know that?
On Jimenez, here he comes, and he misses high.
All right, 1-2 count, fastball in play, no out. Let's see the mistake here. Yeah, Celtics preseason. You know what's crazy is he let this ball go. He thought he thought this was tailor made. Look, he kind of pulls it back. And then Jazz is pulled over in the hole. So this is another ball that could have been a double play and saved a run. It's been some very small things. Very small things in this game. He definitely pulled it back, right? That's what it looks like to me. I mean, it was close, but yeah, he pulled it back. All right, so that's interesting. And then that guy comes around to score. Clement comes around to score on this sac fly. This is the second run. And he's able to hold it there. Again, minimizing damage, so he does a good job. They keep showing the Jazz play over and over again. They keep showing his tiny blue glove, which I see, of course, Jared hates the blue glove because of Melito Perez. This is a running joke going back many, many years. But 0-2 count here, Devin Williams and Springer. There's a chance here he could get out of this. So we'll definitely watch that as soon as we see what happens here. On the other side, the Yankees got their one run on a solo shot by Mr. Ryan McMahon on a 3-2 sweeper off Mason Fluharty. Just kind of reaches out, takes advantage of the short porch a little bit. 102-8, 24, 357. He's got big pop. You know, when he hits the ball in the barrel, ball goes a long way. He's got big time exit velo. He's hit some of the longest home runs in MLB the last few years. All right, 1-2 count right now. William Springer. Oh, he had him struck out, but Wells kind of dropped it, foul tip. Pitch is moving crazy right now, though. This is such a pressure at bat. Tiny blue glove. It's true. It's tiny. He's got that. He's got his own brand, Jazz. Like with the ice cream dripping on it. I know because I had to get my nephew a sliding mitt from that company one time. He was all jazzed up about. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like Aria or something. Anyway, all right. Still 1-2. Another foul ball on the airbender. Anyway, this is pressure filled in the game right now. Very, very, very much so. Here's where we're at as we sit here, and the season is very much in the balance here. Another changeup strikeout. Wells bluffs the throw. So a huge, huge strikeout. They don't risk. The runner was stealing on the pitch, Jimenez. They don't risk making the throw. So now it's going to be second and third, 2 outs. And that's going to bring up whom for the Jays? That's going to bring up Lucas. Do they pinch hit here? This is an interesting matchup. Lucas versus Devin Williams, who's in tip-top form at this point. 7 changeups in a row right there. Here it is. We don't have broadcast, but you're going to see changeup, swing and miss. Changeup, swing and miss. And just note the induced verticals on this. -7.9. This one's -5.7. These are all freakish numbers. -3.3. -7. That's the one that I thought he could have maybe caught. Oh, man. Clutch hit on a fastball. It finally goes fastball. It's going to be a 2-run single, and now it's 4-1 Jays. So Lucas comes through big time there, extends the lead. 9 outs to get, and now it's a 3-run cushion. That was a big, big, big hit right here, and it's a fastball up in the zone. It's not a bad pitch. Well, let's just finish out this at-bat, and then I'll show you the pitches to Lucas here. Change up again, and then he finally gets him with this one. There's the steal where they don't throw. They let him get through. And then this is the 2 pitches to Lucas. Fastball, up, ball 1, and then kind of a similar one, 94-8, that he does a good job of getting on top of and serving into left center. Just over the reach of Volpe jumping high. And Toronto has the Yankees where they want them now. I do think that ground ball to Jazz looms super large. Also, the early ground ball in the game that Schlittler kind of let go, that if he fields it could have been a double play. They've played a good game, but not a perfect game, and that might not be enough. The Blue Jays put the ball in play, and I think that's the biggest thing. The Yankees tonight only have now 3 strikeouts, even with that last strikeout. So they're in the 7th inning with 2 outs, and they only have 3 strikeouts. I think that's a very good sign of how good the Blue Jays are at putting in play, and how that type of offense has manifested itself into some really difficult. It's just difficult to play them. Just like it's difficult to play the Brewers, right? Like, you're just not going to get a lot of empty at bats in the order. I'm just not. Still plenty of time. Nine outs to play with on the Yankee side, but it did feel a lot closer when it was 1 run. Obviously now it's 3, so we'll see how this one plays out, and we'll kind of go from there. That's pretty much all that has taken place in this game. It's been pretty quiet overall. I feel like Varland did a good job bouncing back from the tragedy of last night for him. How did he do versus Judge today? Did he face Judge in the first inning? I guess he must have. He gave up a hit. That's so funny. So this is the matchup from last night.
And the way it doesn't is you keep playing.
Slider high. Ooh, a knuckle curve. So he goes nowhere near the fastball. And it's funny because we were talking about today on Baseball and Coffee with Dylan Betances about what would your approach be if you're the pitcher and you got to face Judge less than 24 hours after you just gave up that home run on 100 up and in off the plate. And both of us kind of instinctually said you should probably go away from the fastball and try to make him beat you on something else. But then I was also thinking of the possibility that Judge is going to know that because, you know, he's used to people being scared of him. He can kind of sniff it out. Maybe he does that here, but either way, I mean, a single is almost a win versus Judge at this point. You'll take a single any day. Of course, you want to get him out, but just don't give up a homer, basically. Then after that, he looked good. Called out Cody Bellinger on strikes.
And his speed kept that from dropping in. Strike 3, blinks through a fastball.
That was kind of center cut. Struck out Jazz. So he did a really good job bouncing back. That's a weird knuckle curve. That ball stayed up a lot. I feel like that could have been hit pretty hard. Kind of played weird. And then that was kind of it. He hit Goldschmidt, and then it's been a bullpen since then. Fluharty, Dominguez, Lauer, and Yarior Rodriguez. So what do we want to watch? We want to watch Vlad get out. Vlad called out on strikes. I see. All right, let's watch it. Let's watch this at bat. Schlittler versus Vlad. This is Vlad's one of the only times he struck out in this series, if not the only time.
1-0.
Sinker down ball. Man, comeback sinker paint. Fastball up. Cutter away. Fastball up. And then sinker probably backdoor. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's a tiny bit off. Really good pitch, though. Throws him the perfect backdoor unhittable pitch. Yeah, I got that being a shade off the plate. That's what I got that being. Devin Williams still grinding through this inning, trying to put it to bed. All right. No, not that. Being a reliever at NYC is no joke. Not easy to do. Salute to Rivera and Diaz. That's facts. That's big facts. Mariano's the GOAT. It's not even close. His worst season is like a 3.15 or something like that. With like 40 saves. So the consistency is just abnormal. A lot of people play well for a little while, but to do it over a long period of time is incredible. Diaz also on the Mets side. He's been pretty damn consistent too. He's put up at least 3 super duper elite seasons with the Mets, if not 4. He's been there a while. So yeah, it takes a special guy for sure. Man, good at bat right now by Barger. Just making Williams throw some more pitches. He's at 20 pitches now in this inning. I don't understand why so many hitters have become laissez-faire about strikeouts. If you put the ball in play with a good process, things can happen. Couldn't agree more, and that's, obviously I have a pitcher's perspective, and I just basically feel like it makes you a much tougher batter to face when I know that there's multiple versions of you. So like you can murder a pitch, you can sit on a pitch, you can drive me the other way, you can pull me, you can get me pull side, you can beat me up, you can beat me down. But especially when you alter your swing with 2 strikes, and you're basically like, I refuse to get anything let by me, and guys are good at doing that and just putting bat on ball, that can be excruciating to face in a big moment. So I think more hitters need to expand their mind to the possibility. This is so bright. Expand their mind to the possibility that you're allowed to have more than one swing. You can do it. You can have your A swing. You can have a B, C, D swing if you want. You're capable of it. So that's kind of the way I feel about it. Man, a nice comment there. Little fillet to left. It's going to get them out of the inning, though. Bellinger gets it. 9 outs to play. Let's see how Blue Jays manage it. Let's see if Hoffman comes into play here. But no doubt that was a big, big separator right there with that hit. Definitely harkens back a little bit to the Jazz. I don't know if they called that an error or not. Yeah, they called that an error. That's an error. Anyway, we'll look at it in a minute on the broadcast now that the half inning's over. Yeah. There's some, Juan Soto, Judge, obviously, Shohei, Freddie Freeman. There's guys that are pure hitters with power that are out there. There are plenty of them, but they are a little more rare. They're a little more rare. You can never call it until it's over. You've seen. It's hard to kill a team. This is one thing that I can speak to a little bit as a relief pitcher. It's hard to kill a team. It's hard to end their season. There's an awful lot of fight. No matter what the score is, there's an awful lot of fight typically down to the last out, the last strike, the last anything. So 3 runs is that could be a heartbeat. So it can go really fast. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream. Hey, MLB, we got any questions or comments from on that side or anything like that? Want me to touch on while we're watching this? It ain't over till it's over. So we'll see. Looks like Yario Rodriguez is still listed as the current pitcher, so we'll see if that is the case as we jump in. I mean, I guess it's just talking about it's getting even more granular with your swing plane. Like you're trying to match the plane on the angle in which the ball's coming in. So we all know that the ball drops a little bit. Sorry, a little bit on the way to home plate, like because of gravity. Even when you're backspinning it, it's staying up pretty good. No matter what, there's some level of drop, and that's why there's this thought. And Jim Rice is saying it a little differently than other guys, but there's the thought to get on the same plane of that and catch the ball in the way that you would cut it directly in half. That's going to give you the best overall outcomes, because if you're a degree high, it's still a lone line drive. If you're a degree low, it might be a home run. If you're right on target, you're going to hit a nice crisp line drive, and that's kind of what you want. You want your spray angle to be very tight in the line drive to slightly launched and slightly down. It's the extremes of launch angle that gets you in trouble. Big high pop-ups and beating the ball on the ground. So you want to continue to spray the ball straight, and I think that's what Jim is referring to. It's very simple. It's just cut the ball in half with your bat. Pretend you have a samurai sword. Cut the ball. It's just a terminology. It's a way of thinking about it. That's what I would say there. We got an MLB thing. Someone just dropped this stat line in our chat, Ray strikeouts. 1950 Barrett, 28 homers, 12 strikeouts. Go look at Joe DiMaggio too. Like for the career, it's pretty close. Home runs for him versus his career strikeouts, which is kind of insane. Obviously, the level of pitching, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention the obvious elephant in the room. The pitching's gotten a hell of a lot better. They prioritize strikeouts. They optimize for strikeouts. They go for strikeouts. Pitchers have more weapons than ever. They throw harder than ever. Organizations rinse and repeat the process of bring a guy up, let him throw 100. If it works, great. If not, bring the next guy up that throws 100. So there's always a level of nastier and nastier and nastier pitching that's just always coming on a conveyor belt, and the batters have to constantly problem solve that now. And that just wasn't the case back in the day. When Yogi played, they were facing a lot of the same guys, and because there was no emphasis on velocity, there's probably some velocity, but nothing like we see now. Like nobody's going to some remote place and training the entire offseason, throwing weighted balls into walls and running and, PRing in the weight room every week and things like that. Nobody was doing that back then. They were just kind of going about their life and then playing baseball. So Bob Feller was one of the OG flamethrowers, though. I will say that. What did they call him? Man, he had a really cool name, I thought, at one point. Man, it's something to do with like a vehicle or something. Love you, babe. All right, let's go look at those hits that just happened and that whole inning a little bit closer. So I mentioned Williams struck out Springer on this changeup, and then they moved up on the steal here. Yankees decided it wasn't worth it to try to go there, but that's key for the Blue Jays because now the one hit is pretty much guaranteed to get 2 runs instead of 1. So it makes a big difference and kind of sweetens the pot for them in this next matchup, which was Lucas, like we said. This was the pitch in question that gave up the hit. It's above the zone. I don't have necessarily a huge issue with the pitch location. It's generally safe. I will say his bat path was awfully flat there and choppy, which is kind of designed typically to hit the ball up in the zone. So I'd be curious to see what type of pitches this guy hits. Like, I haven't watched him a lot. Maybe this is actually against the scouting report. This was a good matchup and he should have went changeups. Now I'm curious to look at some of Lucas's data. But anyway, don't know yet, and that's a 2-run hit, and that was a big separator. But before this, the big play in this inning, and now you'll actually get to get a better look at it on the broadcast cam, is this ground ball right here. Slightly screened by the umpire, no doubt, but handcuffs Jazz a little bit. I think the hop kind of pops up a little firmer than he's ready for. Yeah, he just doesn't quite get there. It just beats him by a millimeter, and obviously that's a double play there. And we'd have a 2-1 game at this moment had this play been made. So, errors happen. Obviously, you're not rewarded for making them. Rightfully so. The team that makes the fewest mistakes generally wins. And I know he's not trying to make an error, but that was a big play. And that definitely cost the Yankees a little bit there. That was a play that he would tell you he should make most of the time. I'm curious on the broadcast if they have any more replays. Sometimes they do. We learned that last night where we got that ump cam. Nope, nothing here. Nothing to see here. Okay. All right, let's go back to the live situation here. We'll reload that. And then I'll answer some questions in the chat. Yeah, I mean, the merch store, I have to take pictures of the hats so I can get them on there. I have the shirts loaded in. This is all new. The merch store should be ready and live in a day or two. I would say. I was a little busy today. I had too much going on where I couldn't quite get that done, but in a day or two. All right, let's answer some questions here. You said this morning you think Weaver's been struggling in part due to his velo being up. How do you go about tinkering with velo within a matter of days? Here's the thing, a lot of times your rate of perceived effort, so your RPE, is the same whether you're throwing harder or not. It's just something else changed. Like, you know, you're built up a little better, or you know, your body's just feeling better, you're more healthy. um, Maybe there was something mechanically that you slipped into that's a really nice feel that's generating a little better sequencing, and you're sending more energy up the chain during your delivery. So these are all good things. Everybody wants to throw harder, but occasionally when it happens, like the adjustment that maybe you slipped into that allowed you to throw harder, that same adjustment causes you to struggle throwing it over the plate now. Like maybe you get a little extra rotational, which is what I'm seeing out of Weaver now, and his energy is shooting him a little bit more towards the third base dugout as opposed to driving towards the plate. Rotational energy is a big thing. Wells just put a charge into a ball. Warning track. Damn, that's awfully close. That would have made it 4-3. That would have made this game more fun. Doesn't quite get it. So again, though, like things can happen to kind of spike your velo a little bit throughout the season, and sometimes that same thing that you want to lean into because it's giving you the higher velo also takes away a little bit of your feeling of having your energy directed to your spot, and now your lanes are a little messed up and your timing's a little off. So that's what I think's going on with Weaver. I actually noticed it way back in the Minnesota series in the regular season. He came out throwing flames. He was like 97, 98 in that game, just pulling everything. And it makes sense. I've been in that spot before where all of a sudden you're like, throwing the hell out of it, but at the end of the day, I'm not getting the ball to where I want to. And in this day and age, the 1 extra mile an hour velocity is not going to cover up for lack of execution. So that's a little bit of what he's going through. Then on top of that, there's obviously the mental factor that creeps in when you start struggling as well, where you start to wonder, am I going to get outs when I go out there? And that's not a good place to be. Volpe faking a bunt here. It is Little in the game right now for the Jays. So Little is the current reliever they're trying to get through here. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Wells just missed that. I agree, David. I thought he hit that ball pretty good. A lot of consternation in our chat about Volpe here. Let's just watch him play. Let's see what he can do here. Oh, I don't know about that call. Close call. Might have clipped. Big play, though, because that turned the 1-1 into a 1-2 instead of a 2-1. Those are big swing pitches. Big swing pitches, as we all know. Oh, like this is on deck stuff. The Nimmo hammer, the sledgehammer. You know, it's funny. He went viral for swinging that. People have swung that my whole career. I don't know how nobody ever noticed that. Put that on social media. It is badass. It looks badass when Nimmo had the beard going this year too. Man, Volpe just punched out. Looked pretty bad on that breaking ball. I see fans yelling. The vibes are not high. Maybe they can be rescued though. Looks like Ahmed Rosario is going to get a shot here from McMahon, and then you'll be back to the top of the order. So we'll see. Yeah, a lot of people definitely saw these strikeouts coming. I don't know. I thought he looked a little better early in the series. Well, this is the lefty-righty thing. McMahon was in there before. He actually homered off a lefty, which is what's funny. But now they got Ahmed Rosario, former Met legend, in the ball game. Powder Blues in the LA game. Oh yeah, we're already in the second inning over there. I haven't even really checked in on that yet. I've been so locked in on this. And I still haven't even watched any of the Detroit home runs. And there was some really interesting plays in the Cubs Brewers series. Yeah, I was wondering how the Jays fans were feeling. Like, what is the general feeling out there about my guy Jeff Hoffman right now? I mean, sign him for the big money. At times, he's shown. Oh, and Rosario comes through with a clutch hit. At times, Hoffman's flashed some really good ability this year. Like he's always had it. He had coming off 2 really good years. And you can see the expected batting average still good, velocity still good, chase still good, whiff still good, K still good. Too many walks, and then this is the scary one, the first percentile in barrels. So he's run into a lot of big time situations. So Judge Judge is now on deck. This is fascinating. What happens if Judge comes up in this spot and there's still a deficit? Do they walk in a run or something? That'll be fantastic. All right, so here is the here's what we got in my chat, at least, about Hoffman right now. I have faith in Hoffman if we're up by 3 runs at least. Well, then you're going to really need some clutch pitching right here at a Little. Grisham Little. This is a left-on-left matchup going on over on the Yankee game. It's just too juicy to move around. It does look like Nola so far has looked pretty good in this game, huh? He's facing Pages right now. 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the second. Both pitchers have looked good. Yamamoto, 2 innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Nola, 1 2/3, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. So yeah, in the early going, little early pitchers duel going over there. Man, I like this. I was just thinking this in my head. You Savage come in to close it out if they have like a close game going into the ninth. Well, is that a possibility? Man, what a legend you would be if you throw a 5 no-hit inning start and then you also get the division series clinching save. Jimenez just catches the ball in foul territory. So Grisham does get out, and now they get the luxury of facing Judge to lead off the inning. So man, we were robbed of the drama of bases loaded, 2 outs, Aaron Judge up there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Is there a chance they go elsewhere besides Hoffman? They need 6 more outs to go. How are the Jays going to get him? Judge is getting walked with nobody on. That doesn't make sense. Manager said he's willing to bring in Savage tonight. Yeah, I saw that. That'll be interesting to see if they actually do that or if they go that direction. I don't know. All right. Walk, fly out, strike out. Here's the finishing pitch to Volpe. Well, here's the pitch, the called strike that set a lot of stuff up. This backdoor cutter that I thought was away live. Looked like it might have nicked the corner. And then he undresses him with this breaking ball. Knuckle curve. This was filthy. I have to say, this was a filthy pitch. You know, he's got the cutter, so it's already kind of headed that direction. And then, hold on. Like, if you're throwing a cutter, and it's already kind of headed this direction naturally anyway, that kind of helps hide the curveball because it's got to go this way a little bit before going down. And instead of it being like more this way and then one pitch deviates, like they both kind of come off that same line. And then this one drops off, and that's what we just saw on this pitch to Volpe. So honestly, I give a lot of credit to the pitch. That's filthy. Got to do better, obviously, but that was filthy. And then this was the pitch, the 1-1 pitch that ends up getting popped up. Again, it's that cutter. And he just kind of slices off it, kind of hoping it goes foul. Doesn't quite kind of get foul. And so now that gets the Blue Jays within 6 outs now. Let's see here. Possibly. I have to talk to them, but I mean, I'm sure they're pretty open to a lot of things. So we'll see. That'll be fun. All right. So it's going to be who's coming out pitching for the Yankees. So Williams is done. So it looks like it's going to be Doval. So Doval's going to come in and try to keep it at 3. And every out's huge here, even on this side. These are big outs. You're not going to be able to come back from probably more than 3 at this point. So you got to keep going. Got to keep going. My postseason appearances breakdown. Gosh, that would be sad to watch. Kidding me? There's a couple good ones, but yeah, there's a lot of pain. A lot of pain. A lot of postseason pain. Are they taking Nola out? It looked like Rob Thompson just said something to him after 2 innings. Yeah, and then looks like Ranger Suarez. Is this part of their plan? Nola kind of like a mini opener, and then they're going to go to Ranger? Interesting in the Dodger game. Adam versus Chipper Jones. I bet you I could find the video. It won't have any data, but I could find it right now probably. We could probably find it right now. Let's see. Timeout. No, I didn't. I actually got a double play, which is what's crazy. Yep, leadoff double for Alejandro Kirk. I do agree with you guys that the powder blues look a little weird right now on the Phillies. So this would have to have been 2012 or 2013. I'm going to guess 2012 first. Opponent. Atlanta. No, I only pitched the one game, so it had to be the next year. 2013. Opponent. Yeah, it's got to be this game. Oh, where did that just go? Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Pitcher, Adam Ottavino. Where is it? Freddie Freeman, Evan Gaddis, Brian McCann, Chris Johnson, Dan Ugla. This is not it. Oh, no. Yorvit, Tori Alba, Justin Hayward, Mike Minor, Andrelton Simmons, Chris Johnson, Brian McCann. Justin Upper, Jason Hayward. I am totally domed up. Man on third, one out now. Toronto Yankees. You know what? I'm confused. Let's see here. We got to go by pitcher. So it's not this game. It's definitely not this game. Chipper Jones, no way he played 2014, so it's got to be 2012. It's got to be 2012. But I thought I pitched more than one game against Atlanta this year, which is what's weird. Oh, at Atlanta. Here we go. 9-5-12. Play-by-play. Pitcher, Ottavino. Chipper Jones, here it is. All right, found it. Here we go. Little handcuff. LeMahieu hooks me up, throws it to Josh Rutledge. Over to Jordan Pacheco. Sick double play right there. Anyway, that was the challenge, was to find that, and we did. Back to Blue Jays Yankees. Now it's 5-1, so something just happened. I'm sorry. I'm totally slow on this today. Doval double. This was Kirk. Just rolls it down the line. Was this a McMahon not there situation? I think a little bit. A little bit. And then Varsho flies out, gets him to third. Yeah, 100.9. Kind of lucky that didn't go out in Yankee Stadium, but he hits it a little too much high and too much in the gap, right? How deep is Judgy here? Warning track, pretty deep. So that's an easy tag up. That gets him to third. And then Miles Straw, slider. Oh my God. Are you kidding me with that hit? Dead fish swing, 64 miles an hour, dead fish swing. 5-1 now. Ooh, and then Ernie Clement just got absolutely dosed in the back of the head / neck. Doval, I don't think meant to do it, but that thing came up and in. crazy scary. Clement doesn't like it. I'm sure the Blue Jays don't like it. I don't know if that was on purpose, though. This guy has been very, 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 very wild in his career. Here's the swing the swing I was talking about from Miles Straw. Are you kidding me with this swing? That's the most doinky swing I've ever seen. But now it's 5-1. Here's the hit by pitch. This is scary, folks. Slide step, trying to be quick, and his arm is a day and a half late. First of all, they set up away. They don't even set up in here. And look, his energy is literally in the freaking dugout here. And then the ball just shoots this way. Oh, poor Ernie Clement. Oh, home run. Tommy Edman, 1-0 Dodgers. So they bring in Ranger Suarez, and it immediately backfires? Is that what just happened? My God. Yeah, Duvall almost freaking killed him right there. This is from the Dodger game. Tommy Tanks. Let's see it. Philly and LA. The second they make the pitching change. It's unbelievable. Nola goes 2 innings. Suarez comes in. First freaking pitch. We don't even have the angle yet. Come on. We're already into the next batter. We should have the angle now. The next batter's out. This will take a second. Tommy Edman is a nightmare for the NL East in the playoffs. I mean, he was a nightmare for us last year, I'll tell you that. Man, no angle on this video? They don't even have video on the home run? That's crazy. We're going to have to come back to that. This is so crazy. Why do we have no angle for the home run? That's a bummer. All right, how did Nola look? He did give up a triple to Mookie.
So that would be on the table for the Phillies. Mookie bats.
Oh no. Oh no, Brandon Marsh. Oh no. Went for a broke there. It's going to end up being a triple. They're lucky that this didn't cost them a run. I get it. You're trying to make a play. I'd always rather you make the mistake of being too aggressive. But he was nowhere near this ball.
Mookie bats. Center field. Marsh can't get it. And it's
Does pitch his way out of it, though. Gets Teoscar swinging on a knuckle curve. This is one of my favorite Nola pitches. Oh, that thing is beautiful. Beautiful. Man, look how nasty and tight that is. That's so good.
And a swing and a miss. Big.
And then this was a big one. Will Smith called out on strikes. Also on a knuckle curve. 3-2. Pitches out a jam in the first. Wow, just locks him up on a straight-up breaking ball there. Bednar now in the game for the Yanks. Trying to keep it at a 4-run game. First and third, 2 outs. And then he goes 1-2-3 in the second and ends his outing with a strikeout as well. So he looked quite good in this game. Phillies immediately pull the plug, go to Ranger Suarez. And maybe that has edited by now. Nope, still no video on Tommy Edman's home run. Insane. How has Yoshi looked so far? Ooh, Trey tried to bunt on him first time.
Phillies decked out in their powder blues. As
Oh.
Turner drops a bunt down right back.
Oh my God. He protected himself with his bat. This whatever this pitch is, sinker is coming. Where's this coming to? Ooh, coming right in on him. And all he could do is kind of just get out of the way, and he doinks it. Another doinking right back to Yamamoto. Nice easy play. 1 out. Here is Mr. Schwarber, who is 0 for the series. Oh, perfect location on that cutter. Like, I don't love cutters when you have to throw them for strikes right on left, but if you can get it to this location consistently, which is where he does, I mean, that's outstanding. Not going to do much with that. Rolls it over at 80 miles an hour. That's a 3-1. Then there's a Harper walk, a Bohm line out.
2 outs and an 0-2 count on Alec Bohm. And he's hit
Pretty good swing there.
into center field. Paez going back, and
Just not quite enough. 102 at 22. Pajes takes care of it. Second inning. Marsh ground out.
Brandon Marsh starts this second inning. And that
Splitter.
one down to Muncy. Big hop for him.
Muncy
One away.
fires it over. Nice play. JT is going to be the strikeout victim on a cutter. Interesting. That's like more of a slider. This is nasty. Holy cow, this ball drops straight down. What's the situation on this? So it still goes negative 8.2. It just shows you this camera angle. Kind of hard to see as much left as this ball actually had. Doesn't look on video like it goes left a lot. Would you guys agree with that? But it does. And it's just the camera angle playing tricks on you. But also, this is what 1.1 vert looks like. Induced vertical break. This is what it looks like on the ground level. So you can get an idea of like, even at +1, it really looks like it drops a lot. Really, anything under 8 is going to look like it has a lot of drop. And this is 1.1. That's why when I talk about getting into the negatives, it's that much more impressive because it's more droppy than this. And look at how droppy this is. I mean, that's nasty. Sets the line about this high. And then, it gets all the way to here. So that's a really, really good pitch. That's basically a death ball. It's also a perfect pitch designed for chase. Right down the middle of the plate, but below the zone. That's where the highest chase rates exist. So again, practice that pitch, all you pitchers out there. Practice it over and over and over again and get some free swing and misses. And then we got a Kepler fly out on a curveball. Man, almost popped it right down the line here. It's not quite the pesky pole, though, so Teoscar's there. We got a Castellanos fly out. This is actually, I thought this ball was actually hit pretty good when I saw it live. Yeah, he's got the real splitter, Yamamoto. We've been talking about all the fork balls that are out there in the game right now. This is a real splitter, power split. Bednar as well is pitching for the Yankees, power split, as we've been talking about. Stott. He's going to go down on a fastball. I still don't want to forget about Tommy Edman. So I'm going to keep that up there just so I don't forget about that. Nice pitch there. And then Trey Turner ground out. Getting a lot of outs with the cutter this game, which is kind of a new thing for him. Man, look at Mookie making plays. He's really transitioned well to the shortstop position this year. Wasn't as good last year, but you can't put anything past this guy. Look at how he attacks this ball. He's got Trey Turner running. That's really, really nice. Really, really nice play. All right. Now, do we have video yet of Tommy Edman? Can you tell me we have video of Tommy Edman yet? This is absurd. The video doesn't exist. Tommy Edman's home run doesn't exist. Maybe it will later, but right now, we're out of luck. We're shit out of luck. All right, I'm going to forget about that now then. Let me get rid of that comment. Adam, how do you throw a death ball? I'm thinking about finding a men's league next summer. I'm a pronator. The idea of the death ball generally is to be like over the ball when you release it. And even if you pronate it, you're trying to create some sort of gyro spin with the nose. If this is the nose of the ball, like not being flat, but pointed down. And the idea of the death ball is for it to not move a lot horizontally, to stay very straight, but just kind of dead fish straight down into the ground, right below the zone. Huge swing and miss rate on that. You need to have a pretty big degree of gyro spin. Now, the issue is you can also do it from a curveball to get more top spin on it, but typically to get in this position, you're going to kill a lot of speed. You're going to kill a lot more speed. So if your hand is behind the ball, generally you have the capability of throwing more speed because you're putting more energy through the ball. Even when it's tangential type of spin, you're still putting energy through the ball. Whereas when you're on the side and you're putting top spin on the ball, you can create a lot of spin, but not as much energy gets through it, so you don't throw it as hard. So that's why the advantage for the death ball, the true death balls are more like sliders, like this type of spin going down. And maybe there's a slight component of top spin, but you don't want to have pure top spin in this situation. That's just a curveball. And it's very hard, again, to get into death ball territory, which for me means like, at least 82, 83, maybe harder, and then definitely that heavy drop straight down. Yeah, definitely planning on talking to him about some of the stuff he talks to Mookie about. Did somebody just hit a home run 1,000 feet out of the ballpark? Yes. Schwarber did. He finally connected. This ball just went almost out of Dodger Stadium. 117.2 at 455. That was a ball to Judge. I didn't see. Is this going to be Judge's last at bat of the season, and he goes down on a bad call? Dude, timeout. We're not going to get the video right away, but you have to see how hard this ball's hit. Look how hard this ball's hit. 117.2 at 29 for 455. And it goes over everything. That's perfect. And it's like, yeah, he's struggling, but he's still Kyle Schwarber. There's so much danger in there. Oh my God, what a swing. I can't wait for you guys to see the broadcast. I'm sure you've already seen it if you're watching. But wow. Wow. All right, we got to go back over to the Yankee game for a sec. Yankees, Blue Jays. I guess it's the Blue Jay game. It's not the Yankee game anymore, I'll tell you that. Now they're showing Garrett Cole. They're burying dirt on they're throwing dirt on the Yankees, talking about next season already. All right, Doval. Let's see here. Fisher. Judge strikes out swinging. We won't have the strike zone until after this, but let's get a sense of it. Slider away. Curveball. This is a guy who has death ball potential. So his curveball right here is already a death ball. 83.2. -15 IVB, but he also has a slider version, 89. This is a true death ball here, right around 0-0 on the break chart, -1.1, -0.5, and with the high release, getting the gyro spin going straight down at 88, 89. That's what Fisher kind of brings to the table. You don't really see it here because this ball's pulled away, but that's what the death ball spin is. And then the curveball gives him two speeds with a similar shape, one being bigger than the other, but there's a lot of similarities there. They're doing the whole thing now. They're showing Cashman in the booth, in the suite. They're doing the whole, let's talk about whose fault this is. So wait, where was the pitch that we didn't like? This one, 2-1. That looks way outside to me personally. I mean, you can see that the fans back there see it. Even Marlins man, who I don't know if this guy a Yankee fan in disguise, he doesn't like the call. He does not like the call. All right, let's go and check up on that stat right here that Spectre wants me to see. How many whiffs Mr. Yamamoto currently has. At the moment, he's got 5 whiffs and 20 swings for 25% whiff. 3 on the four seam, 2 on the cutter. So far, none on the curveball or splitter, which is a little odd. Big rally coming here. Harper gets on, and then and now he's going to score on the ball going into the stand. So the Phillies, for the first time, showing some signs of life in this series offensively, and they're doing it against, I think, the Dodgers' best pitcher, in my opinion. But there's Yoshi so far. That's the rundown. What just happened here? Dodgers, Phillies. So Schwarber's home run put some electricity through the boys. Harper got a single. Hit that splitter pretty hard. Kind of left that one up in the zone. And then what just happened right here? Alec Boehm. So first I want to see the hit, and then I'll show the high home to see what happened on the base paths. Boehm stays through the middle. Man, hits it right in that spot where nobody is. Wonder if Edman could have went for that. They try to hose him at third, and it kicks away. Not only does it kick away, it kicks away all the way into the dugout. So now Harper gets to trot home with another run for the Phillies. Where was Yoshi this whole time? Was he not backing up? He waits a little while. Yeah, he heads over there, but this ball kicked out pretty quick, and he wasn't able to stop it. So, that could have been something. But yeah, Philly's showing some signs of life all of a sudden at the moment versus Yama. There's also just a sac fly that the Phillies just scored another run on. JT just hit a double. So this is a nice inning for the Phillies. This is a sac fly by Marsh. 94-mile-an-hour exit velo away with a man on third. Going to the split, trying to get the swing and miss or the ground ball, but he gets it elevated anyway. A lot of game left, but yeah, Philly's looking good in this inning. This is also a double by JT. Just hit a ground rule double on a first pitch fastball. So Yamamoto, who hasn't given up hardly anything in like a month, all of a sudden allowing some stuff here. Little drama now. Toronto Yankees 2 on, 2 outs. Fisher now getting pulled here. Who's coming in? It's going to be Jeff Hoffman. So here we go. Here comes Hoffman. Here comes Hoffman. Ooh, rally cap. Put the rally cap on. I don't know if I should flat out root for the Yankees, so I'm not going to do that, but we'll watch. We'll watch it for sure. Let's see what just happened in this game. Yankees, Blue Jays. Strikeout, pop out. Stanton single. And Jazz walk. 8-pitch walk. That's good. They need base runners in this spot if you're going to come back. So who's up? Who's coming up here for the Yanks? After Jazz, it is... Looks like it's going to be Rice pinch hitting? Or is it going to be... yeah, it looks like it's going to be Rice. Hoffman's velo is back at 97 again. Last outing should be interesting. Yes, this is very interesting. This is what they paid him for. They paid him for these moments. So let's see how he comes through here. Got to get one out. He's got one big out to get here in the 8th, and then there's still 3 more big outs to get after that. I think Rice is a good matchup for the Yankees versus Hoffman, but a home run still doesn't tie the game, so that's why that extra run was key. Schwarber's officially now the second player ever to hit the ball over the right field pavilion. Wonder who the other one was. For a lefty, I mean, was it Barry Bonds? I'm going to guess, but I really have no idea. Gosman and Yosavage are in the pen. Haven't gotten up, though, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if any of those guys get any of these last 4 outs for the Blue Jays. If they pull that trigger, they pull that lever. All right, looks like the second out of the inning just happened in the Dodger-Philly game. 3-1 Phillies, man on second now, 2 outs. And they've really, it's been an interesting game. They kind of used Nola as an opener. Dodgers now have Anthony Banda warming up behind Yamamoto. Mainly, I think, because he's thrown a lot of pitches this inning. I don't think he's looked that bad, although he has gotten hit a little bit. His current line, 3 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And then the home run by Schwarber probably should count for more than one, considering how far it went. Yeah, I think everybody kind of wants Yosavage. I think that would be... It would just be very cool and legendary if he came in this game. And also, if he were to like come in and lose it, it would also be insanely notable as well. So just good TV. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm interested. That's what I'm interested in. All right, Hoffman's in there. There was a first pitch splitter to Rice. Splitter. They're just throwing every time. If anybody's got a splitter, even if you don't, just make one up and throw it to Ben Rice. That's the strategy, I think, versus Ben Rice right now. Also from the chat, 8th J pitcher, and there are only 12 on the roster. Is that the case? Yeah, in today's game, they have gone with, holy cow, Varland, Fluherty, Dominguez, Lauer, Rodriguez, Little, Fisher, Hoffman. It looks like a spring training box score. Look at this box score. Look at this box score right now. Look at that. Look at that on the Blue Jays side. That's great. 1-0 count, first and second, Rice, Hoffman. That's what we're tracking right now. Another splitter, of course. I just don't see them throwing him anything but splitter at this point. So 1-1 count now as Hoffman comes right in the game and goes splitter, splitter to Rice. How far was this bomb by Schwarber? Well, I could probably show you on the video now. This was the definition of a Schwarber bomb. Ugh. Still don't have the broadcast, but look, 455 estimated. Yamamoto had actually a pretty good reaction to this. Wonder what word he said there. I wonder what it meant. I would love to know what the Japanese people yell. Yeah, look at this. Ah! Schwarber would have hit that 598 at Coors. I genuinely wonder if that ball that he hit at Coors would have went into the rooftop or beyond. Ooh, he finally goes with the heater to Rice on 3-1 and beats him with 97. But now we're in 3-2. The only other player to clear right field at Dodger Stadium did it twice in 1969 and 1973. Oof. This is a good trivia question, Cobra. I'm going to say, could it be like Willie Stargell or Willie McCovey or somebody like that? 3-2 foul ball. This is where we're currently at. This game is super locked in. This is a tough trivia. 69 and 73. Dave Parker? Maybe Dave Parker? What am I throwing here? I'm throwing a splitter here. And he does, and he throws ball 4. So Rice gets on. That is going to bring up Wells, who is 0 for 3 with a strikeout, but did give the ball a pretty good ride to center. Volpe's up after him. Tying run at the plate. It's Wells. He does have pop. I could see this happening. I could see this going down. If you're Hoffman, you got to pitch him to the opposite field here. Do not let him pull a ball in the air. He hits it in the air to the opposite field, and it's a can of corn, and he gets out of the inning, and they're now 3 outs away. So like I said, I think it was a good idea for Wells to be aggressive here, but he ends up flying out on the first pitch splitter. Dang. A lot of drama every inning, but they haven't really cashed in. So Hoffman gets a big out there. Let's see what they do in the 9th. Can they use yet another pitcher? Can they use a 9th pitcher today? 9 pitchers would be wild in a win. Here's the pitch in question. This was the splitter. Just not a great pitch to drive ultimately. So he probably would have been best laying off it, but he doesn't get a lot into this swing. And so it ends up just being kind of an easy out. And yeah, that's how that inning ends. I still want to get back to a couple things in this in the Dodger-Phillies game, because we still haven't seen Tommy Edman's damn home run. Is there a chance that that's here? Nope, still no video for that. But maybe we can get the Schwarber now, the full effect. Ah, yes we can. Here we go.
Dodger starters have been a major story. Schwarber.
Did we figure out in the chat? Oh, Cobra said I'm correct. Was it Willie Stargell or Willie McCovey? Stargell?
With a tape measure shot up on top of the pavilion and right. That is one of the biggest bombs you will ever see. And the Phillies.
Yeah, Willie Stargell. I was just thinking big lefties. Big lefties. I don't know why Dave Parker came into mind. I guess because he recently got to the Hall of Fame, the Cobra, and your name is Cobra. But at the same time, Willie Stargell, big beast. Him, Willie McCovey, those are guys that came into my mind. I don't know exactly the years that they played. Sometimes I get confused. Sometimes what era each of those guys were with, since I wasn't alive for that. But certainly aware of their greatness. It's been a frustrating outing for Yamamoto. I don't think he's happy with execution. Can we watch this home run again?
Dodger starters have been a major story. Schwarber.
I mean, I've sat in that bullpen a lot of times, and never did I think a ball would clear that pavilion up there. Never. Never did I think a ball could go up here. No chance. It looks obscenely far. That is such a legendary home run. If you think about it, in his playoff career, he's hit that ball that went on top of the scoreboard at Wrigley. He hit the ball, I want to say last year or 2 years ago, to the second deck in Petco Park, which I don't think anybody's ever gone to at all either, Schwarber. So he's hit some absolute moonshots in the playoffs. A lot of Yankees fans leaving. Even though I'm a Jays fan, I wouldn't assume it's over yet. You can't assume it yet, but I get it. Oh, and that was a leadoff double now by Lucas. He's had a big game for the Jays. And they're about to, and he just did some sort of very provocative celebration at second base. But, yeah, man on second now, no outs. If they get one more run, I mean, it's already a tall task. It just becomes that much harder, exponentially harder with every run. I think Schwarber has a chance for 500 home run, even though he started so late. I can't think of another player with power emergence this late in her career. I mean, he had pop his whole career, right? I mean, no. I'm curious to see if I can find that home run in San Diego. So it would have been Phillies, Padres, and this would have been playoffs. And it was Darvish on the mound. Yeah, it's probably this game. Nope, 3 walks. We're close, though. Phillies, Padres again. Let's try that again. Yeah, this one. This is the other one I was thinking of that was legendarily, ridiculously, stupidly far. And even further than the one today. I mean, when you're in Petco, that seems impossible. But if you hit it 119, yeah, and there's Bryce's face because he thought it was impossible too. This says it all. Are you kidding? Dude, this ball's absolutely hammered. Oh my God. We're saying, what did Schwarber not have a lot of home runs his whole career? I totally thought he did. 16, 0, 30, 26, 38, 11, 32, 25, 7, and then, yeah, 46, 47, 38, 56. All right, so the last 4 years, yes, it's cranked way up. So good credit there. Credit there for what you guys said. Late in the career. Good comment, David. You're 100% right. Nathan Lucas, 10 years in the minor leagues guy. That's much respect to that. That's love of the game right there. Hard to keep going after so many years riding the buses and not getting that reward. But it's great that he stuck it out. Now he's getting his big moment. Yankee Stadium. Baseball's beautiful like that sometimes. This is a Goodfellas reference, and it's pretty good. It's pretty true. So, man, another hit now. So the Dodgers are punching back a little bit with 2 outs in their inning. Bednar are trying to grind through this ninth. He's 15 pitches in. They've asked a lot of all their relief pitchers in this series. Ultimately today, though, you got to give credit to the cavalcade of relievers for the Blue Jays that have come in and done a good job. This is where I thought the Yankees had the advantage in this game. Schlittler did a good job. Couple close plays made this game what it is now, this Blue Jays game. The scout who signed Schwarber literally compared him to Babe Ruth in his report. He had pop. Yeah, I mean, he definitely obviously had pop. But it's interesting to see how much better he's gotten at hitting the home runs. Also, a little note on this Dodger game. Dodger-Phillies game. Yamamoto not give up more than 4 hits in 8 consecutive starts, and the Phillies got 4 hits in a row in the 4th inning. That's baseball for you. It'll turn on you in 2 seconds. Just punched out Barger for the 2nd out in this inning. Bednar. It's a pretty good curveball here, huh? Addison, I think, decided to swing before the pitch came, though. So that happens sometimes. All right, Phillies are out of that, so they have a 3-run lead. They are in control of the game over there. This Yankee game is almost over. Do they give out MVPs for division series? No, right? Just LCS, just League Championship Series and World Series, right? Because it would have probably been it would have probably have been Vlad, I guess, for the Jays if this is the case, or I guess I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I actually haven't seen this. Senga reacting to the home run. Maybe I have. Maybe I didn't notice it, but I love a nice reaction meme. Very good. Yeah, I don't think they do MVPs, but Vladdy should be it. He would probably be it if that was the case. Also, Ernie Clemento's had a hell of a series. Hell of a series. Man, we've done zero talking about the first two games. As soon as this game's over, I'm going to go through those games, and then we'll recheck in on the Dodgers after that. But Dodgers Phillies after that, because got to get in on the others. And it's nice that looks like the Yankees are on the brink of getting eliminated here, but there is going to be more baseball in those other series. Seattle, Detroit, as well as Cubs, Milwaukee will continue. So that's interesting and fun. Like, we want to have as much baseball as we can, especially me. Ooh, Bednar punches out Kirk. So that gets them to the ninth. They are right there. It is a it is tight. It is tight, tight, tight. They're going to have a huge rally here. Do they keep Hoffman in for the 4 outs, or do they have somebody else coming in? It's annoying when my thing doesn't want to reset. Six-run ninth, anyone? Anybody interested in that? That would be epic. Unlikely, but epic. It would be badass if Savage or Gosman came in to close it out, but I don't think they're going to necessarily do that. Maybe if Hoffman got in trouble, you could see somebody riding on their horse. Apparently, Yankee fans are hoping that Hoffman stays in. Look up Senga home run reaction comedy gold. All right, we can do that real quick. Oh, I think I've seen this. It's when Lindor hit the grand slam. Yeah. Dude. What is this face? Is there a full video of this? What is he doing? Also, these guys were crazy drawing each other's numbers on their faces during the playoffs last year. That was pretty funny. Did he just get locked up? Is he frozen or something? That was super weird. Super weird. Yamamoto's still in there for the Dodgers. They're letting him ride. He's in the 5th now. Still 3-1. Looks like he's going to go back through the order again. I think the Dodgers have the luxury of doing that. They can kind of hold some people back. So it is going to be Hoffman starting off this inning. Looks like they moved Ernie Clement over to 3rd. Connor Falefa is now in at 2nd. So the Blue Jays have their defensive lineup in there trying to put this one to bed. I don't think I would have pulled Yamamoto either. I think I would have left him in, honestly. David, the answer to this question is people peace out so fast. It's actually scary how fast people leave. There'll be a few that hang around, come clean up their locker the next day, 2 days later, but a lot of people are home in the blink of an eye. Like, a lot of times after a tough playoff loss, especially on the road, like, guys will linger around the clubhouse for a few hours and kind of, hang out, talk a little bit, kind of try to move past it a little bit, realize that, it's over. It was a good ride, nothing they could do. They left it all out there, whatever. But after that, it's like people go their separate ways so fast. There's people that are literally saying bye at that point, like, well, I'll see you next year. It's like crazy. So no dinners or anything like that at that point. People just kind of scatter. It's actually really eerie and kind of sad, just the way it kind of ends so quickly. You're all together for so long, and then it's gone. It's over. The moment's gone really fast. Of course they're going to celebrate. The Blue Jays will they'll destroy that Yankee clubhouse. They're going to be like, to win a playoff series, they will freak out. All right, so a leadoff hit though. Jason Dominguez got the at-bat here and lasers it in the gap, so Yankees at least have the leadoff hitter on in the ninth, and we'll see what happens from there. I don't know why this isn't live. Why is this not live? It's so freaking annoying. Why is my TV faster than anything else? So people are saying Banda might be coming in. I think Yamamoto's going to ride here a little bit. He's got a man on in this inning, but we'll see. All right, now Ahmed Rosario's in facing Hoffman. Yankees are just, they'll take anything but an out. They'll take an error. They'll take a hit by pitch. They'll take a walk. They'll take a hit, obviously. So that's kind of the idea. Just get as many base runners as you can and make it as hard on them as they can. Force the Jays to do something drastic. 1-1 count over there now. This is super weird. Why is it not coming up live? It's so slow on my computer. Oh, they're definitely going to celebrate. You celebrate every round. Rosario hits it, but it's not anywhere near deep enough. 1 out in this inning now. Pops it out to Miles Straw. So now they're down to their last 2 outs. Still down 4 runs in this game. Finally, it will be the top of the order, though, here. It'll be Grisham, Judge, and Bellinger. All right, here comes Doc. First and second, no outs in the 5th. He's going to go get Yamamoto. Phillies are firmly in control of this game. This has gone quite differently than what I expected, and this is what the Phillies needed. This is the crack in the door that they needed to potentially find their way in this series right now. Yeah, Banda's in the game. Yamamoto ended up with what kind of total outing? I feel like this was a very surprising outing out of him, ultimately. At the when it's all said and done in this game. Very surprising Yamamoto outing. Box score, final line, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4+ innings, I should say. 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a homer. The homer really started everything. Before that, he was cruising. And then, no doubt, something about that Schwarber home run definitely got the Phillies going again, for sure. Player breakdown. Yeah, the whiff rate started to deteriorate a little bit. Ended up at 25% whiff. Very interestingly, 0 whiffs on curveball or splitter. I think that would be the culprit. Didn't have the best command or at least the best effectiveness that he would have liked to have on curveball and splitter tonight. And ultimately, typically he dominates with those pitches in terms of whiff. So I think that's a kind of a red flag there, and kind of makes it pretty obvious why this one didn't really work out. 2 outs in the inning. Hoffman just made a nice play off a flip from Vlad Jr. So it looks like the Blue Jays are going to win this thing. Now they're 1 out away. This would be an unprecedented comeback at this point. So, man, Toronto came in and they did it. They kind of took it to the Yankees in this series. This bullpen game really surprised me, but credit to those guys. They're unheralded. They're looked at as the weakness of this team, and they put together a crazy effort. 8 pitchers are going to either give up 1 or maybe 2 runs if they give up a hit here versus the Yankees and eliminate them. So pretty impressive stuff. Aaron Judge up to the plate. This could be the last at-bat of the season, and he swings and misses at the first pitch. Is beer, champagne league mandated? I always thought it was a sponsorship angle. I mean, it's always there. It's not something you think about as a player, but it's always there. The champagne, the beer, all that stuff. There's a lot of different ways to celebrate. I do think the celebrations get increasingly more unhinged the longer you make it into the playoffs. The Yankees down to their last strike now. They get more and more unhinged the longer you go, but there's always an element of that. But if you know you have more games to play, the drinking, there's not a lot of drinking of it. It's mostly just spraying it around and a lot of horseplay, and then that's about it. Maybe because I have my jailbroken MLB.TV. Ooh, Judge just spanked a ball off the wall. So Judge's not going out. Judge's not going out without a fight. He ends up just staying at first because he knows he needs base runners. But now it's 5-2. They need one more guy to get on to get the tying run to the plate. It's going to be Bellinger and then Stanton. So this game's not fully over yet. Still one more out to get. Jeff Hoffman, of course, looking to bend but not break here. Ooh, aggressive Phillies just double stole on Banda now. So they have second and third. They have second and third with no outs in their inning. So... foul ball from Belly. Anyway, that was the culprit, I think, with Yama a little bit, was the just the lack of effectiveness of the splitter and the curveball definitely stand out in that game. Man. This is the action in the ninth inning so far in this game. Dominguez hit a splitter for a double to get the Yankees up their first base run in this inning. Then there was a Rosario fly out to left. Just doesn't quite get it very well. Only 95, kind of an easy play. Then we got a Grisham ground out. This was a nice play by Hoffman, actually, and actually by Vlad, and a flip to Hoffman, which we'll see here on the high home. Yep, so that's out number 2. And then Judge just absolutely murdered a ball off the wall at 114 at 20 to keep it alive. But 1-2 count to Belly here. Looks like this is about to probably end right here. And yep, strikes him out with a splitter. Blue Jays take care of the Yankees, and another Yankee season ends in disappointment, but a huge win for the Blue Jays. They go to the ALCS. And now they are the only team remaining from the AL East. It was a pretty tight race the whole way. The Blue Jays separated themselves at the very end of the year. And yeah, the celebration is on. They are definitely hyped up. Another disappointing ending of the year for the Yanks, of course. But Toronto's been an impressive team. Got to give them a lot of credit. Big time stuff. This was the final strike right here. Bellinger from Hoffman. Splitter away. Chases it off the plate. Hoffman, I'm not really in love with the fact that he's busy screaming at the Yankee dugout here. You should really be more screaming at your own dugout and excited for you guys because this game's over and the season's over. But, that's Jeff, so that makes sense. And that's 3 outs. Yeah, I know you guys saw it. Not that it matters too much, but... Blue Jays are on. Tough feeling for Yankee fans. Season comes to an end. It was an uneven year. They had you believing again after that Red Sox series. And it ultimately just doesn't go as far as it's supposed to be. A lot of FES on the broadcast. Yeah, I don't think he said anything to anybody. It was just interesting how his eyes went straight to the Yankee dugout and not to his own. So that was a little weird. Yeah. Sorry, Yankee fans. And the quest for the ring is officially over. Not that it would have felt legit anyway, but that's where we're at. I do think this play was something. Certainly is just this play was an opportunity to get 2 outs and ended up leading to 2 more runs and kind of had the game get away from the Yankees a little bit. But, they didn't really hit much. They had a couple opportunities that they didn't cash in on. And I just want to give credit big time to the Blue Jays pitching in this game. This was not, for me, this wasn't the way I saw this game necessarily playing out. 8 pitchers, Varland, Fluharty, Dominguez, Lauer, Rodriguez, Little, Fisher, and Hoffman. It has felt to me like this is actually the weakness of the unit. Of the Blue Jays is the weakest unit, but that did not show up today. These guys did a great job. They took down the Yankees 1 pitcher at a time. And they did a really good job in this game. Yeah, held the Yankees to pretty much not a lot of hard hit. And did a nice job. Grisham goes 0 for 5 in front of Judge. That was a big one. Bellinger 0 for 5 behind Judge. So I always say, like, Judge is the, the gravitational force in the middle of the lineup. But those hats are not nice, I don't think. Those are not nice. I agree. I'm not a big fan of those hats, guys. I don't know what you guys think. But Incredible performance from the Jays bullpen. So you got to give credit where credit is due. They're moving on. They're going to play the winner of Seattle and Detroit, Game 5. I love their chances against either of those teams. So Toronto's got their best chance to go to the World Series in decades. So feeling really good to be a Canadian baseball fan right now. Yep, time for the players to peace out for the Yankees. That's just how it goes. And before you know it, though, it'll be New Year's, and then they'll be getting geared up for the next season. But there's so much more baseball coming your way the rest of this way. Vladdy would have definitely been the MVP if there was one in this series. He had a hell of a series, only going 1 for 4 today, but he tore the cover off the ball pretty much the whole time. So it was really, really good job. Wait, so where are we making some accusations here? I don't think that makes sense. I mean, honestly, it's just a great approach. The hitting approach by the Jays, they've had a low strikeout rate all year. The only people that struck out today, Springer twice, Vlad once, Barger once, Kirk once, Santander once. I feel like they do a nice job. Anyway, it is what it is. Banda, everybody was worried about Banda coming in, and he just did a really nice job for the Dodgers and settled things down in this Wago over here. So 5th inning, Phillies-Dodgers is where we're at right now, and that one 3-1. Banda came in with 2 guys on, wiggled out of that jam. 1 inning, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts right there. Did an outstanding job. It's been Nola to Suarez so far. So the Phillies are playing out front in this game. Obviously, they're facing elimination. They're going to have to get it done. So, somebody mute this guy. Let me do that. Yeah, I don't know if I know how to do it, but we're going to figure that out. Hold on. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. All right. You know what though? This game's kind of in a dull moment now. Finally, we've kind of seen it. We've kind of seen enough about the Yankees and Blue Jays series. That we'll have plenty of time to digest all that. This Phillies-Dodger game is far from over. But the other 2 games that happened today, let's go check up on them. All right. I never really got to fully discuss this Detroit-Seattle game. Also, this was also a game that kind of the dynamic flip that I wasn't expecting. Detroit's offense has been really lagging behind, but today they come out with a barrage of home runs. They were actually down 3-0 in this game, and then they came roaring back in the 5th and the 6th. So let's go look at the Detroit 5th and 6th innings in this game. Detroit and Seattle. And the first one was the 5th inning. Bryce Miller was on the mound for the Mariners, and he had been doing a nice job before he runs into trouble in this inning second time through. Torkelson takes the split and kind of pops it into second. And then let's see how the rest of this inning goes. McKinstry with a force out, 2-2. Heavy splitter usage, I feel like, from Bryce Miller. I'll definitely check up on that in a second. So he gets the one out there, but then Dylan Dingler, who's been quietly excellent for the Tigers this year in a multiple of ways, comes up with a huge hit. Randy thought he was going to get that, so he doesn't cut down the angle, goes all the way to the wall. That's going to allow the first run to score. And the Tigers are on the board, and they're feeling it a little bit. In Motown, they immediately make the move and go to Gabe Spire, who's been outstanding in this series prior to this game. And it did not play out this way. Detroit makes the move to Jahmai Jones here. Immediately responds with a first pitch double. Just spanking this ball down the line. And the momentum had fully shifted at this point, and then they were able to keep going. Line drive double. Baez, 7-pitch at bat, culminating with a game-tying single here. I don't know why you're throwing anything that close to the strike zone to Javi Baez with 2 strikes, but that's what they did, and they pay the price for it. Javi with a little line drive up the middle. He had a huge game. And then that kind of was the end of the 5th inning. It got a little more hairy, but it got out of it. Spire comes out for the 6th to get his lefty, Riley Green. And this is the 2 pitches to Riley Green. Sinker up in take. And then a slider, which I'm assuming Riley was sitting on. Ends up right into the scoop of his swing, and it's just demolished to right field. 112 at 26, 454 feet. And the Tigers are back in freaking business, baby. Now, this guy, I've mentioned it a lot of times. Riley Green, he clipped me on a sweeper before, bottom of the zone. This is where he crushes the ball. His swing is so uphill, so scoopy. The first pitch fastball, he wanted nothing to do with that. I thought that was a good pitch all up in here. But he stays committed to his plan. He says, I'm going to get a sweeper for a strike. I'm going to get a slider for a strike. It's going to be somewhere here in the bottom of the zone. And I'm going to be able to get on plane because that's my swing. And look at that. Just destroys this ball. It's exactly the pitch that he wants to hit. Now we got sun flare, but this is actually a pretty cool shot. Look how cool the shot is here. This is so dope. But anyway, let me show you the feature of Riley's swing. First of all, very cool, very odd, a little bit of an oddity in today's game. Choking up on the bat. So that's an option. I don't know if people remember that. You can choke up on the bat. Anyway, look at this. Look at the shoulder angle. It's almost straight up and down. That's how underneath this ball he gets, but that's what you need to do sometimes when you want to do damage at the very bottom of the zone. Stays through it really nice. Very flexible in his midsection, so he's able to really get into a lot of a powerful range of motion situation that a lot of people can't get into. I mean, look at this. Look at this move and finish here from Riley Green. And that's a massive home run. That was step 1. Get the lead back. Step 2, continue that. Edward Bizzardo, another guy who's been really good, but maybe a little overexposed now in this series. Torkelson down the line for a double. And he's going to throw you a lot of sliders. Maybe they got a little more used to that. Then McKinstry. And it's like, we talk about how hitting's contagious, especially in the playoffs. That's certainly the case right here. All of a sudden, the Tigers just get a little sprinkling of that magic pixie dust, and they're off. Hit, hit, hit. Wenzel Perez, double. I mean, you can't tell me it's not contagious when they're hitting pitches like that below the zone. I mean, the guy I had to kick off the stream earlier was complaining about a pitch above the zone. Is this one cheating too? I mean, look at this. This thing's in the freaking ground. Honestly, though, it's just great bat-to-ball skills. Very impressive. And then Javi Baez, let's watch the 2 pitches as he pretty much puts this game to bed. Javi had a great first half, was an all-star, really struggled in the second half, but this was great. He had a great moment here. Oh, launch to left. We got no hit data, but who cares? It's over the fence. Another nice lean back on this home run right here.
All of a sudden, a 5-spot real quick, and now 2 more. First playoff home run in 8 years.
He's got a great style, I'll tell you that. He's got an unbelievable style at the plate, so it's really cool to watch. Always. And then they had some other homers. Glaber on a 99.2 mile-an-hour sinker. I think this is an Oppo Taco, too. Yep, sure is. Typical Glaber swing. Shoot the ball to right, get it in the air, flip it out. 99 at 34, right down the line-ish. And that made it 8-3. They end up winning it 8-4. Glaber, little step in the bucket, go the other way. Check out the front leg. Look how open he is. This reminds me of the Chris Davis who hit 247 4 years in a row. They used to play for the A's and the Brewers. Not the Chris Davis from the Orioles, the other Chris Davis with the KH spelling. Used to do this a lot. Step in the bucket, and then yet barrel the ball to the opposite field for homers. It's a very odd thing to do, but not the first time I've seen it. Is all I'm saying. Really cool swing here by Glaber. Kaboom. And that was kind of it. They put it to bed after that. Like I mentioned, the Detroit relief pitchers did a great job in this game, particularly Finnegan getting 6 outs. Melton got another, I think, how many did Melton get? Melton got 9 outs. And then Vest, who seems like he pitches every game, this is how he finished off this win and got them going back to Seattle for a big Game 5. And Will Vest has had some of the biggest hardcore energy of the year this year, especially when he finishes out games. I mean, he's bouncing off the mound. And they're going to need him to bounce off the mound a few more times, particularly in Game 5. So that was the update on that game. There was another game that I'm about to update you on in a second. I do want to keep an eye on what's happening live. Phillies-Dodgers still 3-1 in the 6th. But let me see what we have in the chat for a hot second before I keep it moving. Ayo, thoughts on a Riley Green Tony Clark comparison? I don't know. It's just so hard to compare anybody to Tony Clark because he was so tall, like so tall. I do agree he probably had to have a pretty scoopy swing just to hit anything low because, again, he's just so damn tall. That's a funny comparison, though. Never thought about it before. I don't necessarily see Riley Green being the head of the union anytime soon, so that part of it won't hold up. But I like the thought. I like the thought of it, and it's two Tigers being compared to each other, which I always like. All right, what else we got here? How did I not know that Chris Davis fact? Wow, that's crazy. Yes, this is about Chris Davis and the batting averages every year. Almost harder to do than to be a good player is to have this type of oddity in your stat line. Check out the batting averages from 2015, 247, 2016, 247, 2017, 247, 2018, 247. And, you know, he hit 244 in 2014, so it was almost 5 years in a row. That's absolutely insane. And I bet you guys didn't realize that this guy was actually a freaking really good hitter. He hit 805 career OPS, including 48 pumps in 2018 for the A's. And they play in a super pitcher's ballpark at the time in Oakland. And he was doing the step in the bucket, launch the ball to right field thing. So sometimes around these parts you'll find a crazy fact every now and then. All right. Let me see what we got in the Dodger game for the moment. Looks like Kepler's hitting and Jack Dreyer is in the game. So Dodgers playing from behind. They choose to go Banda, who did a great job to keep it close, and then Jack Dreyer's in there now. So they're not chasing it too hard, but we'll see if that changes as we get a little deeper in this game. If these guys continue to put up zeros for the Dodgers. Until then, Philly's definitely in control, although it can't be comfortable only with a 2-run lead in Dodger Stadium. No way, Jose, that's never comfortable. All right, today there was this other game. I don't know if you guys knew, but it was Brewers-Cubs. The initial pitching matchup, which I broke down this morning, was a fascinating one to me. Quinn Priester, who had won something like, the team had won 19 starts in a row that he had made this season. The team had won at least. I think he was 12-0 in that span. And I said, you know, he's sort of due to have some crazy shit happen to him or to be a little off at some point. But I didn't know if it would be today. It did turn out to be that way as the Cubs got all 4 runs in the first inning. And that's the only runs they end up getting in the game. And again, credit to their pitching staff. Tyone, 4 innings, 2 runs. Pomeranz, Palencia, Kittredge, Thielbar, and especially Brad Keller, who pitched out of a crazy situation in the 8th and then was able to get it done in the 9th. So we'll watch a lot of this. This was a really, really interestingly managed game on both sides. You know, Priester gets pulled in the first. Mears gets through that. Then Jose Quintana came in and did an outstanding job, my guy, for the Brew Crew, to kind of keep them in this thing, as well as Grant Anderson, Koenig, and Patrick. But they end up falling 1 run short, and the Cubs hang on by the skin of their teeth. So, very interesting game, and I think we should go watch that Cubs-Brewers first inning, and then a little bit of how the Cubbies pitching held on. First inning, Mr. Quinn Priester. This is kind of where it went. It was a 6-pitch at bat to start off the game, culminating in a home run by Michael Busch here. He's a big sinker cutter type of pitcher. Pitches off the barrel a lot, but has good velocity on both of these pitches, and generally pretty good command. He's a strike thrower. I broke down actually Quinn earlier in the year when he was on early in the year on this show when he had one of his early runs of dominance. 14.4 IVB on a cutter is exceptional. That's basically like pretty good backspin. And then on top of it, he's getting into the negative, so that ball's it's truly going left a little bit. And you can see here, this is a backdoor cutter. Now, in the camera angle, you can't see it very well, but this pitch starts off the plate away and then sneaks back on the corner at 93. Very hard pitch. Very, very hard pitch to pull the trigger on. And then the sinker that he has goes the other way. So that's a little lesson on what Quinn's bringing to the table. He also has that curveball, but it's not a huge part of his game yet. It's mostly sinkers, cutters. Sinker middle down.
Hart probably beating 1,000,000 miles an hour as Bush holds his swing and the count runs full.
2-2, and then cutter 92-4.
Lots of strikeouts in the series.
And this one is the old cutter down the middle, right on left. This is the pitch that haunts my dreams all the time. He makes the mistake here, which I get. There's nobody on in the first. You have a 1-run lead. You don't want to give up a walk, but he chucks it right down the middle. And this ball gets popped out of here.
Bush with a drive, right field. Frelick goes back to the track, to the wall.
All right, so that was how the inning started. Then Nico Horner on a 6-pitch at-bat is going to poke a hit here. Little line drive right back up the box, and there's 2 on. I mean, the first 2 at-bats go really well. Then he started to lose the strike zone, which I thought was interesting.
Horner can run as Tucker tries to lay
Tucker
down
with
the
a
bunt, and it's
weird
foul.
bunt attempt because they were playing back.
We'll see how many times they try to lay down a bunt. Only did it 10 times during the regular season.
Oh my God, who is this idiot? Oh my God, we have such a loser in here. Hold on. Jeez. Oh my God. Somebody look up this channel. Let's go report him to his mother upstairs. Hide user on this channel. Yeah. No mods prob odd, Adam. Should I even I don't even know how to do that. You got any mod? What do I do here? Anyway, who cares? It's more just funny. People think they're so cool, man. There's no space for anger or hate here. You can beat it. Don't care. All right, back to the baseball. Quinn Priester, 0-1.
96 out of the zone.
I don't think we should sign him. It's gone every which way but loose.
Sinker, 94-3. Ball. Ball. 3-1 coming here again. Front door attempt. And he just lost the strike zone a little bit here. That was actually a strike, kind of boxed back there by Contreras. But all of a sudden, like, he didn't get what he wanted on those first 2 at-bats. And then he kind of got a little out of his element a little bit here. And it ends up leading to a big inning. Here's a 2-2 to Suzuki. This ball's actually hit pretty well. Got kind of lucky that it's really deep over there in the corner, and this is actually a stupidly good play by Sal Frelick. Holy sheesh. What a play this was. Next to chat message, click the moderator and select add managing moderator or add as standard moderator. Oh, man. Hold on, now I'm getting texts. I think I have the moderator in there now. I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. See how this goes. No, I don't really care. But anyway, we're good. Well, I didn't like. I just did like one of those fake ones or whatever. I don't know if Brett ever gets sick of me, honestly. All right. Anyway, let's see what else happened here. That was the first inning. There was actually a huge hit here by PCA, right? Yeah, this is the big hit. So then he lost the zone again. He walks Happ.
Priester's payoff is ball 4.
Ball away. And then this was the big hit. So this guy's been pressing a lot. I want to watch this whole at bat. PCA just can't help but swing right now, and I get it. You know, I get it. He wants to do so good so far. I mean, so badly. But this is what I would do if I was pitching against him too. I would constantly throw some pitches that look like strikes that aren't strikes and try to get him to continue to expand. So they try that there. Gets the 1-1. Here's the 1-1 sinker down, ball, 2-1, and now he has to throw him a strike, and this is where he becomes dangerous. Once anything in the zone is dangerous to this guy, the best that you can hope for is to get ahead and then make him expand, but this is where he wants to be. There's nowhere to put him. You have to come over the plate. The guy doesn't have great command right now, and this made a shaky outing into a bad outing with this pitch right here. 85-mile-an-hour slider, kind of middle up. PCA's all over it, lines it into right. And that was it. That was it for Priester. Doesn't make it out of the first. Bunch of runs score here. And it's a solid first inning for the Cubbies. Hold on. Yeah, that made it 3-0, and then I think there was a wild pitch in this at bat, right? Yeah, somewhere in here there's a wild pitch from Mears. There it is. Yank City. That's sort of similar to what I was talking about earlier with what Weaver's been doing. It's just like you overthrow a little bit, and you can see right here from Mears. Watch the angle of his body and the energy. Look at that. Look at him peeling off so hard to the left. And that's just overcooking this ball. That's what I call it. The energy's more this way than towards the plate. And that's ultimately the way it comes out. And it's just not catchable for Contreras. And with the man on third, that cost the team the run. And that was actually the game-winning run. You don't know it at the time because it's the first inning and just seems like a shit show first inning. But that fourth run was huge. That fourth run was crazy. So after that, they had to grind out the rest of the way. J-Mo did a pretty good job, but that first run that scored was crazy. Watch this. This is literally how they get their first run. Little infield pop-up, and nobody can see it. The sun was brutal in this game. Not that it's an excuse, but nobody knew where the ball was. Nobody knew who to go, like where to go get it. And then on top of that, nobody's covering second. So a lot of things went wrong here at once. And one of the things that's a little underrated that went wrong on this play is Dansby, who is like Mr. Baseball IQ, kind of thinks he's going to have to get involved in the catching of it, so he goes for it. And that leaves nobody covering second, where they have an easy force out here. And also center field, PCA was a little slow to see it happening too. So kind of a weird play there. That ends up leading to the first run of the game for the Brewers with this sac fly. Sal Frelick is the one who gets it done here off J-Mo. But J-Mo does a good job, I thought. Tyone, that is. Jameson Tyone does a good job, in my opinion, here of limiting the damage. I think that's a big key in moments like this. One run rarely kills you. But if this would have been a 2 or 3 spot, this would have really undone the Cubs big time and all their plans. This was the... Where's the second run? This one. In the fourth inning, they chip away a little further. Again, this whole game was under stress for the Cubs pitchers. They ended up getting their way through it and doing a really, really great job. But at the end of the day, this game was really, really, really stressful game for the Cubs on the mound. So here, that was another hit. That got it to first and third, 2 outs. Then J-Mo needed a big hit there. And then here's how he wiggles out of this. First and third. They go for the bunt, but they're all over it. And to the point where he was a dead duck running home. Now he does an amazing job, Durbin, in this rundown to get the runners move up. It doesn't end up benefiting them in the end, but just the overall power of this bunt. I think this was a good play. The safety squeeze. He just like barrels it. What's the exit velo on this bunt? 33.4. Just kind of barrels it too hard. Michael Busch had plenty of time to get it home. There was not really enough time to get home off the bat here. And you're just cooked at the plate. So there's one out. And then the second out is this one. He gets out of Joey Ortiz. And again, this was a huge, huge out in the game. Second and third, 2 outs. Gets the chopper to third. And there was a lot of huge pitches made with 2 outs in this game for the Cubs. This was just the first instance of that. Pomeranz had a 3-up, 3-down. Palencia had a 3-up, 3-down. Kittredge gave up this homer, which creeped him a little closer. Bowers. First pitch sinker to the opposite field. Jake Bowers, 101.5 at 27, and now it's a 1-run game. And I felt like everybody in the ballpark was getting a little tight at this point. There's the classic Cubs throwing the ball back on the field here, out of the bleachers. And that at this moment, I have to say, following the game, I did feel like, man, the Brewers are going to do it to them. They're going to come back, and they're going to get these guys at the last possible second, like they always seem to do. And it's going to be a little bit heartbreaking. All right. Also so he gets through the 7th, and then the 8th, this is what I was talking about. The 8th got very hairy. Chourio leads off with a double off Kittredge. This was 3 pitchers to get through the 8th for the Cubbies. Of course, Chourio, who we're not sure is going to play at all, has got the hamstring thing. He finds a way to get on base here. Yeah, you can see he's not even running very well. Kind of gingerly runs into second, but gets that leadoff double. He's been unbelievable. And also, very odd that PCA doesn't catch this ball. Been watching PCA catch balls all year, but I want to see where his initial positioning is, because he felt like he had to run an awfully long way. So he's playing slightly in the oppo gap. I think we need a different color here so we can see it. He's playing slightly in the oppo gap, and let's see where this ball lands. Cubs have one of the better high home cameras in the game. So it lands about here. So he had to go a pretty far away, obviously. But let's look at his jump off the bat. How was his initial move? This is what he's known for, is that initial jump. I feel like that's not his best jump. Anyway, ball drops in, man on second to start off this inning. Thielbar. So this is a grind to get through this inning now for the Cubs. Thielbar comes in, gets his man. The first one up with a nice slider there to Terang. Then a 6-pitch at bat leads to this 3-2 pitch to William Contreras. Really good take in the dirt. First and second, 1 out. Sal Frelick. First pitch sweeper. Throws it up the middle. Typical double play ball, except he's fast as crap, so he's safe. And the inning continues. First and third, 2 outs. Keller in the game. He walks. 4-pitch walk. So let's watch Keller's nail-biting outing here. Sinker in ball. This is going to be a 4-pitch walk, but we got to see all the pitches here to get a sense of just how on the edge this game was. And then 3-0 here. Inside. Yeah, there's some questions in the chat about Bryce Terang. He's good. He had a really, really good year this year. It was a little interesting because before he was known as kind of a defensive specialist. This year that kind of flipped. His offense was top tier. His defense wasn't. But nevertheless, he's been a very valuable, underrated player for the Brewers. All right, so this got us to a 2-out situation and not a great matchup. Keller, sinker baller, facing a lefty. Jake Bowers homered in his last at-bat with all the chips down here in the 8th inning. Let's watch it.
And he calls time, the pitch thrown anyway.
So doesn't get the timeout call. This is kind of an interesting gamesmanship move. Tries to go for the super late timeout. Doesn't get it, and Keller still misses. And I can speak to this as a pitcher. Now, it seems super easy at home to say, oh my God, he's not even trying to hit. You have this big old strike zone, just throw it down the middle. But sometimes this is so distracting. Like in your peripheral vision, you see this guy's not hitting. Something lets off a little bit. Your timing goes timing just goes a little wrong, and you squirt it to the right. And that's exactly what happens here. Ball 1. Strike 1 away.
Nice call for time. No time given. Couldn't throw it in the strike zone.
Change up down. Strike 2. This was a key pitch in this at bat. Honestly, a pretty good pitch to hit, but the fact that he gets the strike here with 1-1 gets him into the 1-2 situation and gets him into the spot he needs to be. And it's kind of an accident. Catcher set up away here, pulls this changeup, but it does that little bit of front door action, and actually a really good catch by the catcher. Gets him to 1-2, and then he's able to wiggle his way out of it with his best fastball of the night, probably velocity-wise at 97.1, up in the zone with a little bit of cut on it. Did you see how much that ball cut? Holy cow. 97 with negative 4.3 is an electric cutter. This is an electric cutter right here, and you can see it on its ball flight. It goes left, but it stays up, and he tips it right into the mitt. Very fine line between that ball getting crushed and not getting crushed, but the fact that this ball had extra movement to the left and pretty good hop to it as well. 12.5 is nice for a cutter. Gets it over the barrel. Probably the biggest pitch of the game. They maintain the 1-run lead. Keller gets through that despite not looking, I don't think, great in that inning. And then he's able to go 1-2-3 in the ninth. Finally to put this game to bed and get the Cubs to game number 4, which will be tomorrow at Wrigley. They do not get swept. They do not go quietly into the offseason. And they'll have a shot here to tie it up, just like a couple teams did today, including the Tigers, and they'll have a shot to force Game 5. Meanwhile, over here in the Dodger game, Kershaw's in there, pitching down 2. This makes sense. Gave up a leadoff hit, but this is kind of the role I expect them to use Clayton in. And also interesting to see Doc Roberts not chasing this game at all. Like, literally okay to lose this game, not chasing it. Here's the Blake Perkins strikeout for the second out of the night of the ninth that Keller got. Just beats him up top. Another really good cutting fastball. Negative 1.9 inches of horizontal break, so that ball's tailing to the glove side, in on a lefty, away from a righty, and still has excellent vert on it, 15.6 at unbelievable velocity, 96.3. So this has a lot of layers why this is a really good pitch and why it blows away Perkins here, despite it being pretty much middle. And then the final out of the game is a Christian Yelich ground out, and the Cubs live to fight another day. Nice play there by Horner. And this is a good series. It's going to be interesting to see what the matchup is going to look like tomorrow. I haven't even got into thinking about that yet. Let's see what we have lined up. Still TBA, double TBA on that. So now that Toronto is the only team moving on at the moment, we can focus in a little bit more on what's happening on the Dodger game, and then I'm going to say goodnight. Probably not going to make it to the end of this one, but the Phillies are going to be in control at this moment. They're looking to add on versus Kershaw here in the 6th. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Kershaw's in right now. He's a beast. He could have easily won 5 Cy Youngs. He could have. I mean, he's definitely. I think he's the best pitcher of my generation. So that's what I think of the guy. A lot of in talking on here in the chat. That's fine. It's nice. I like that. All right, let's go back to the main screen. Looks like Schwarber's coming up now. Oh, he just walked. So first and second. So Clayton not getting off to a great start in this game. Phillies looking to extend the lead here. That's the plan for them. They're still riding Suarez on their side of the line too. So here's the 2 at-bats so far. Kershaw 3-1 slider to Trey. Pops it up the middle. And then Schwarber 5-pitch walk. Here's the 3-1. Didn't want to give him to Kyle, of course. And ball 4. I haven't reviewed all of the pitching yet of the Jays bullpen game, but we certainly talked a lot about it. Gregory Winston, good question here. I definitely talked a lot about the fact that this was something that was looked at as a perceived weakness for the Jays coming into this series. I don't want to click on that. Coming into this series. And sure enough, it's a bullpen game that puts the series down. Again, 8 pitchers. Farland, Fluherty, Dominguez, Lauer, Rodriguez, Little, Fisher, and Hoffman all get it done in a really impressive job. It's really hard to have 8 people pitch well in one game, and they were able to pull that off today with only one tiny little blemish here, one tiny little blemish there. So for the most part, I definitely wanted to shout out the Jays bullpen and comment on that a little bit. Sanchez tomorrow. for this matchup if it keeps going. Who's going to be on the mound for the Dodgers? Will it be are they able to come back around to Ohtani? I don't know. Yeah, this is a good question for the next round. Now it's a 7-game series, and you might need a 4th starter. Does Chris Bassett or Scherzer get onto the playoff roster for the CS? I would guess yes. Oh God, bad base running by Schwarber, and the Dodgers get a free out. Holy cow! Okay, so we're looking at Glasnow game 4, Ohtani game 5. If this holds up, interesting. Did you guys see this play that just happened? I don't know if they'll be able to show it yet, but they get a free out here. Harper lines out for the first out of the inning. Nobody advances, so it stays first and second. And I got to wait for Bohm's at bat to end, but it happened during this at bat, and they get a free out here, which is pretty crazy. They do have a man on third, but one of those. Oh my God, these guys just two guys just loving it. Yeah, this Will Smith play, I really want to show that off. That's the last thing I want to see. I want to show before I sign off tonight. But this could loom large. We're about to see it because they just decided to walk Bohm on 3-0 now. But this could loom large if Kershaw's able to get Marsh out, and then the Dodgers end up coming back. This free out is going to be a big deal. So I'm waiting for this to pop up on the walk, and then we'll show you the free out. Yeah, right here. Here's the high home on it. So the ball's in the dirt, and everybody thinks about running, but Schwarber gets caught because the lead runner doesn't really go. Will Smith sees it and is able to throw behind and get the out. So I'm going to show you a little bit what's going on here. When you have 2 guys on base at the same time, base runner 1, base runner 2, base runner 1 has to kind of keep his eyeballs, we'll do that with the yellow, has to keep his eyes on this runner. He can't just blindly go to second base without knowing what this runner is going to do. So Schwarber is watching the runner in front of him, Trey Turner. Knowing that Trey's pretty aggressive, he's expecting Trey to probably go. So as soon as he sees Trey do this move where he breaks and heads towards third, Schwarber commits to second himself. So he thinks that he's gone, and then he realizes, oh no, Trey threw on the brakes. I got to throw on the brakes. But it's a little different for the big boy to throw on the brakes than the little Gumby, Trey Turner, who can just kind of go bing, bing and cut back really fast. Freddie smartly just stands there, but then he's paying attention. He sees everything happen, and as soon as he sees Schwarber go to throw on the brakes, Freddie comes and slides in behind. Will Smith, with excellent court vision here, fires behind him, and they get the free out. And that could loom super large as Kershaw's now in a 2-strike count, trying to put away Marsh. So I want to break that down really quick. That's a big-time play in this game that could loom large, depending on how this inning shakes out. Yeah, I just looked at that. There's no. It's still a TBA for the Cubs tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but that's going to be interesting. Yep, catcher's the only player who sees the whole field. But right now, you go down and you block it. You're looking to locate the ball. You have 2 runners on. Your instinct is to look ahead of the lead runner, not necessarily to check that back runner. So maybe he got some verbal cues, but also really good peripheral vision. Sees Freddie, makes a good throw. So that's a really big deal. Ooh, Marsh with pretty good contact. Teo's on it, though, and makes the play. So that's what I mean. They're able to hold him there. It's only a 2-run lead, and Dodgers have 9 outs to work with on offense, and the Phillies got to conversely get those 9 outs to force a game 4. So Clayton did not look great in this inning at all. This is the final out. Pretty good swing here, 108 miles an hour off the bat of Marsh, but goes right to Teoscar. So a little bit of benefiting, finally a little luck going Clayton's way in a playoff game, and he does his job. So honestly, I think I'm kind of burned out. This has been really fun, but we'll recap tomorrow on Baseball and Coffee, and we'll see how this one ended up. But anyway, it's been a pretty good time, mostly hanging out today, I would say. We had a lot of stuff to cover, so it was because of the way that Blue Jays Yankees game was going. It was kind of hard to cover everything in a row in a nice, clean way today. But we did our best, and I think it was a fun stream overall. Thanks for everybody in both chats that hung out, even the people that acted a little out of control. They can kindly not come back next time. But other than that, happy for everybody else to hang out, and we'll do it again tomorrow on Baseball and Coffee, and we'll continue to follow these playoffs, which have been pretty damn electric to this point. So thanks so much, everybody who hung out, and have a great night. Good night, everybody.